Greetings and grace. All right. So, we're talking about the cost of wisdom today. I pray that you find yourself thinking on the more positive side, the more positive side of life, the more optimistic side, the glass is half full, enjoying the process as you're seeking knowledge, as you're growing and going throughout the entire process, because ultimately that's what it's about. So I pray that you are excited and that you're ready to rock some things out, making some changes, testing some things out. Like the mic is right here, by the way. I don't know if you guys can kind of see it. You can barely see it. It's right there, but we got the green screen happening. So we're going to rock it out and have some fun. So we are in, of course, Ecclesiastes, and we're still on chapter 1, and we're about to read that right now. Right now. All right. So starting at verse 12 to verse 18, it says, Wisdom is meaningless, which is definitely a contradiction, right? All right. So it's deep. Okay. So I, the teacher, was king over Israel and Jerusalem. I applied my mind to study and to explore by wisdom all that is done under the heavens. What a heavy burden God has laid on mankind. I have seen all the things that are done under the sun. All of them are meaningless, chasing after the wind. What is crooked cannot be straightened. What is lacking cannot be counted. I said to myself, Look, I have increased in wisdom more than anyone who has ruled over Jerusalem before me. I have experienced much of wisdom and knowledge. Then I applied myself to the understanding of wisdom and also of madness and folly. But I learned that this too is a chasing after the wind. For with much wisdom comes much sorrow. The more knowledge, the more grief. All right, so we finna get into it, but first, enjoy, enjoy. Greetings. Secure your path in just 3 steps. I myself knew a piece of my purpose, but I lacked the depths of my vision. I knew that I would make an impact, but I did not feel significant because I didn't know how to achieve this and actually make money online. Now, I exercise the confidence of my purpose, execute my strategies for more impact, and I feel more fulfilled making money as a result, helping other educators do the same as me. Some have even left their 9 to 5. Specifically, this year, I want to help 1,000 people discover their purpose in depth, strategize their impact, and make money online organically with the right information and guidance straight, no chaser. Go to online.theetablueprint.com right now so that you can be confident in your purpose like me and no longer lost on your path. My name is Imani Allen and I own Priceless Faith Productions, where your impact can become omnipresent. 10x, baby! All right. So we're talking about the teacher, right? This is a teacher, and a son of David, who is also a king in Jerusalem. And, he's talking about how the more wisdom he gained, the more sorrow, and the more knowledge he, achieved, right? And gained, the more grief. And there is a lot of truth to that. And I'm not saying that to be a Debbie Downer or anything like that. It's just when you understand, right? When you have the comprehension of of information, right? And understanding that it's so vast, it's so grand that you could literally spend the rest of your life, right? And you could spend 80 years researching, going all the way to like the beginning, right? I'm talking encyclopedia type of research. You can spend 80 years doing that and you still won't know everything. But you'll start to know a lot of things and a lot more than what the average person would know or will ever know. And that causes you to see things differently. Now, is that a good thing or is it a bad thing? It's kind of in the middle. You have to know your limits. You have to know who you are. You have to know your purpose, right? And what it is you're trying to achieve. You got to understand something about wisdom. There is a cost. There's an emotional cost, there's a financial cost, there's a mental cost, there's a physical cost when it comes to gaining wisdom and gaining understanding and gaining knowledge, because You don't just automatically get these things, you know. There's a lot of stuff that happens as a result of it. There's a lot of stuff that happens spiritually when you start to see what others cannot. And how do I say this, right? So I don't know if you guys know this, but like people who are like serving, right? We'll say the military. People who are in the military, they can go through things, they can go through traumatic events all day, every day, and they'll still be able to function. They'll still be able to move in the midst of chaos. They can see, they have seen, right? People get bombed right before their eyes. People get shot right before their eyes. People get like killed and hurt right before their eyes. But they don't have the ability to stop and work on their emotions and process the things that just happened. They don't have that ability. They have to keep going because they have a responsibility to serve, which is what they signed up for, right? The duty, right? So that is kind of an analogy of wisdom on the spiritual side, when you can see and discern how people are, where something is, what maybe they can't even see for themselves. And even in yourself, right? Even in yourself, when you start to look within, God is showing you you. You're like, yo, this is wild. And I get why I get why he feels this way, because for him it's almost like, what's the point? I'm here, I'm doing this, but it's all meaningless because it doesn't matter whether I do it or not. But I want to share with you that it does matter. Everything you do, it matters, because you can, in fact, create a ripple effect, and that ripple effect be positivity, be positive, be just beautiful. That ripple effect of just kindness, right? That can do something beautiful. That can make somebody's day. And making somebody's day is far better than not doing anything at all, not trying, right? Instead of being stagnant. And I want to encourage you guys to really think about it in a different light, because I don't know if you guys remember, but in English we would read, Shakespeare and oh Lord, what was the other dude's name? Dag nabbit. It was Shakespeare and Hamilton, Charles, Chris. There was another dude, and they kind of like had it out for each other a little bit. Wow, I totally forgot this dude's name, but I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna find out what it was. But you gotta understand something. That when it comes to reading, right? When it came to reading, one thing about English is that we were taught to read between the lines. And that was something that I definitely enjoyed, to, read between the lines, to try to comprehend and understand what the author was saying, right? And what the author wasn't saying, because it's oftentimes that interpretation of the art, which was the words, right? You have to be able to articulate it, and you have to be able to understand what it was that it was building to, or how it was working, or how it was going. Have you ever watched a movie and you were like, oh, this is about to happen next? Or you'll say a line, and you've never seen that movie before, but it's the exact line, almost like a cliche. And it's like, I could have written that movie if that's ever happened to you. It's kind of like that, right? And when you have that in the sense of a spiritual eye, you don't really always have the ability to, fully take on, that level of empathy, to where, you have to stop. No, you have to keep going. You still need to make progress. You have a responsibility to see your purpose through. And when you start to think of it that way, it's like, okay, the cost I've paid is already great, but I can make it easier for the future generations. Remember, we talked about generations yesterday. So we're talking about making it easier for not just yourself later on down the line, but for those that come after you. And when you start to think about it like that, it's just like, okay, that's a cost that's worth it. Because even if you improve the lives of like 5 or 10 people around you, imagine if they do the same thing. Imagine if 2 people do the same thing. And it just keeps going and keeps going. We already know how the world is, but that doesn't mean that we should just continuously allow or let people do things that harm other people. Like for bullies, for an example. We already know they're out here. A lot of them are lawmakers. We already know it. But there's somebody out there, and there are people that need to be reminded and encouraged to continuously pour into and invest in themselves when it comes to the law, when it comes to that knowledge and that education, so that they can be the person that changes the laws that help people at a greater scale. And then you got to encourage the people who want to sow into those type of people, who want to give them scholarships, who want to be like, you know what, I see what you're doing, I believe in your vision and I align with it, I'm going to put money behind it, I'm going to sponsor it. Right, those people, they need to be encouraged to continuously go forward in what it is they're doing to make money so that they can do that. You see, it all goes hand in hand, and it's necessary. And you got to understand and think of it from a different perspective, because when you start to do things like that, you understand that yes, with the wisdom and the knowledge, there is sorrow, there is grief. But guess what? There is joy and understanding. There's joy and empathy. There is joy in being able to do something about it, opposed to being stagnant. And I really need you guys to definitely understand and think about it differently. Hold on. Who was the other author that stole, right? Stole from Shakespeare. Did William Shakespeare steal from him? I used to read all of William Shakespeare. Christopher, was it Marlowe? There we go, Marlowe. Yes. Okay. Marlowe. Christopher Marlowe. Woo, man, couldn't tell me. I didn't pay attention in English, man. All right, so Christopher Marlowe. Any celebrity can tell you that with great deal of fame comes with something else, controversy. That's true. William Shakespeare is no exception, and speculation continually following the playwright, especially since we know so little about him. Only a few certain facts are known, and even fewer documents survive regarding Shakespeare. But Shakespeare is the only playwright during this time period to be surrounded by speculation. His contemporary Christopher Marlowe is a victim of the same circumstances. Rumors about Marlowe range from espionage to collaboration. Who exactly was Marlowe, and what connections does he have to Shakespeare? Join us as we take a closer look into both of these mysterious playwrights. So, I'm just, sharing. If you guys want to go to this is bard.org, BARD.org. And then you want to type in or Google it, because okay, yeah, it looks like they do have a search bar. You could type in, the controversy of Shakespeare and Marlowe. This was released in 2017 if you want to go ahead and read it. But Christopher Marlowe and William Shakespeare, and understanding them, you know what I'm saying? And why did I even mention them? We were talking about English. Yes, we were breaking down the way that they wrote, right? The way that they wrote, you have to understand how they were coming off and what it is they were trying to articulate. Even down to the fact that, what was it that Shakespeare would do? He would do something where it would be a joke, it would be a comedy, a play that was more on the comedy side, but it would end up in sorrow, right? That's how he would set it up. And so he would have these two opposing emotions that he would write on, and then incorporate all of these characters and scenery and just the depths of each character and the things that they were going through. And it would start off some way and then it would end another way. Almost like, but not. Think about AMC. All right. So, man, AMC, I'm talking about the production company at the height and its peak. Oh my God. I was watching, had to be like 4 or 5 of their shows, because I mean, the writers for AMC are phenomenal, right? I'm talking, okay, so Breaking Bad, boom. We start out, we love Walter White. We feel so bad with him and everything that he's dealing with. Look, if you haven't seen Breaking Bad, you know what I'm saying? I mean, spoiler alert, when the whole cancer situation and how he turned that into an opportunity, like, you know what? I need to go ahead and start making crystal meth. And then we were like, dang, you felt so bad for him. But his character, the way that he was written, like, you're like, yo, Walter White is a dirtbag, like he is a jerk. And they took him on this huge character arc. You started out loving him, and at the end, you were like, yo, Walter White's horrible. I don't like him at all. I wanna fight him. He's horrible. He doesn't care about nobody else. He literally turned into the danger that he said when he was like, I am the danger. And I mean, I'm laughing, but you gotta understand that the writing was that phenomenal. I mean, The Walking Dead at its height, before they started doing some like Game of Thrones type stuff, which was highly disrespectful. When they started, it was just bad. But at their height, at their peak, I mean, phenomenal. Carol. Carol went from this abused wife and mother, and she turned into actually kind of one of the type of people that you want on your team, because Carol turned from somebody who was abused. She lost her baby, like her daughter, and she was just hurt and hurting left and right. And she, the characteristics of a person who's been abused, you know what I'm saying? They walk around on eggshells, they're scared, they're timid, they're not able to necessarily fend for themselves right away. But the way that they wrote her as the Walking Dead series continued, she turned into like a total beast. Like, I mean, like if you want somebody on your team in Apocalypse, you want a Carol, because it was like, yo, this chick is, and then she plays her role so like just eloquently. Like, she would like have this smile and she'd be like super sweet, and then she'll torch an entire place. I'm like, yo, that's some next level. And then she'll save their entire community. I'm like, okay, Carol, the arc. That's what I'm saying. They start out some way and they turn into something else, but there's something beautiful about writing like that, and then understanding the author behind that. And so I'm excited because I do know a little bit about Ecclesiastes, but there's a whole lot more to learn. And I know that there's some really great stuff in here. There's chapters I have read before, and I'm like, oh, that's really good. So I'm interested to see how many chapters did this teacher, the son of David, king of Jerusalem, write. But not only that, how it's going to change. And us, right, as you guys listen in, and me as I'm going through this, that not just myself, but that we both, all of us, that we gain different revelations and understandings as we read between the lines. All right, so be encouraged, because without a doubt, wisdom is not meaningless. What you do with it will determine whether or not it's meaningless. So understand that there is a cost, and you want to make sure that you are intentional about how you spend it. Oh, that's a bar, baby. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys, man. Stay safe. All right. God bless. Greetings. Secure your path in just 3 steps. I myself knew a piece of my purpose, but I lacked the depths of my vision. I knew that I would make an impact, but I did not feel significant because I didn't know how to achieve this and actually make money online. Now, I exercise the confidence of my purpose, execute my strategies for more impact, and I feel more fulfilled making money as a result, helping other educators do the same as me. Some have even left their 9-to-5. Specifically, this year, I want to help 1,000 people discover their purpose in depth, strategize their impact, and make money online organically with the right information and guidance straight, no chaser. Go to online.theetablueprint.com right now so that you can be confident in your purpose like me and no longer lost on your path. My name is Imani Allen, and I own Priceless Faith Productions, where your impact can become omnipresent. 10x, baby!